Derek Fildebrandt is banking on a still divided Conservative vote in the next year's election and is throwing his own hat in his own ring. Fildebrandt has been acting as an independent MLA since he was ousted from the United Conservative Party caucus after a series of public missteps that include renting out his taxpayer-funded apartment on Airbnb. Wednesday, Fildebrandt tweeted he is launching the Freedom Conservative Party of Alberta on Friday. It is already registered with Elections Alberta, listed as a new name for what was the Alberta First Party a few months ago. This is where we bring in Danielle Smith from Global News Radio 770 CHQR to continue the conversation. If anything, Danielle, he's got fight in him.
He certainly does, and he's actually quite clever in the way he's done this. Starting up a new political party from scratch, especially this close to the election, is fraught with trouble because you have to get a certain number of people to sign a petition in all of the constituencies. And if he was to try to do it the long form way, I don't know that he'd be in a position where he could run very many candidates. By taking over what was the Alberta First Party, he already takes over that existing infrastructure at Elections Alberta. So that ticks off one box. Question is, why? And that is something we're going to try to explore on the show today. I think people were just hoping that now that the Conservative movement had come back together, that it would last for an election cycle or two or three, who knows, before it ended up busting apart again. Now it's already busting apart before it's even come together. And Derek Fildebrandt is someone who has to be taken seriously because he has a big reputation, because he was with the Canadian Taxpayers Federation as its Alberta director prior to getting into politics. So he has reach all over the entire province. People know who he is. He's a known quantity. Notwithstanding his recent troubles that got him kicked out of the party, he has a pretty good policy record. And he's also trying to position himself as more of a progressive on some of those hot-button social issues. So he's positioning the party right. He is a good organizer. He has profile. Question is, can he win any seats? And is this the right move? We're going to talk about that today.
Is this too small of a situation to split the right again?
The interesting thing that I've heard, again, he's doing his press conference tomorrow, so we'll hear more about the reasons for it tomorrow, but he has given some pre-interviews on it. And one of the ones I found really interesting is that he said he is not going to run candidates in ridings where the NDP have a reasonable chance of winning. So I guess you'd look at, for instance, Innisfail, Sylvan Lake. You had 80% support for Devin Dreeshen, the UCP candidate. That is clearly going to be a place where they would run. But in ridings like Calgary or Edmonton, where it's a three-way split, it sounds to me like he's going to back off and just allow a Conservative candidate a single choice to run there so as not to split the vote. So he's being pretty strategic in it. And I'm just really curious to know how many people are going to follow him along on this path.
Very interesting. We'll leave it there for now. Danielle, you have a good day. Have a good show.
You too.